Welcome to What's on My Bookshelf with Jill. That's me, I'm Jill, your host and proprietor of the things on my bookshelf. This will be a weekly, well, really the time frame is TBD, video series where I will bring you what's on my bookshelf. It could be books, it could not be books. Stay tuned to find out. Okay, this week off my bookshelf we have a book and a non-book. We haven't had a non-book yet. I mean, I guess the family tree was a stack of paper, but you put a binding on that, it's a book. So we have a book and a non-book, and they kind of go together. So the book that we have is Always and Forever, Lara Jean, and it is the third book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before book series by Jenny Han. And I came to know about this because I watched the movie on Netflix. And then they had a second movie. And the third one I think comes out next year. So I watched it a few times and I was like, let me read the books. So initially I had purchased them at the Target because they were on sale and I thought it would be a nice little treat for myself.
Once a year, Donna and I spend a day treating ourselves. What do we treat ourselves to?
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
Fine leather goods.
Treat yourself.
It's the best day of the year.
The best day of the year!
Except then, I saw that they were available at the library. So this is okay. I did return them. I didn't read them. And so it is legal and it's all good. And plus Target has gotten so much of my money over many years that, I mean, honestly, they owe me at least like 3 books, but it's fine. I understand how consumerism works. So anyway, so I returned the books, but I got them at the library. And, well, except this one. I put myself on hold for all 3 books from the library. And the first 2 I got pretty quickly, but the third one I was like 7,025 out of for 4 books. That's an exaggeration. But I was very far deep in line to get the book. So I was like, kind of anxious to read it because I had just finished the first 2. So I looked around at Half Price Books and they had it. So I went over and it ended up being like $4 and I was super glad that I bought it because I was excited to read it. And I read it in like a day because it's not what I would call a difficult or challenging read. It is a beautiful, wonderful young adult novel and it was just what I needed. Except that at the end, somebody who I can't not name because I don't know who it was and I don't want to be mean and call them a bad person. They wrote in it, look at that. Oh, sorry, I'm not trying to give you the finger. So here I am. I flipped to go to my second to last page. My eye is immediately drawn to the handwriting because you're not usually gonna find handwriting in a book of printed material. And it says, that's how you end a series. So then I'm like reading backwards. I mean, that's a bummer. It was a bummer. I gotta be honest. That was pretty annoying because I was invested in this series. Anyway, okay, let's do our little paragraph. When I wake up, I loll about in my bed for a while, stretching out my arms and legs like a big X, reaching north, south, east, west. Last night feels like a dream. Is it really true? Am I going to UNC? Yes, I really am. How crazy, how thrilling that your whole life trajectory can change in just one night. Well, I mean, that's true. I've always been scared of change. Yeah, but right now I don't feel that way. I feel excited. I'm seeing now what a privilege it is to be excited about where I am going. Peter and Chris and Lucas, they're going where they want to go, but my future felt like a second choice because it was. No matter how great a school William and Mary is, UNC is a choice I didn't even know I had. Like a door that magically appeared, a door that could lead anywhere. I kind of screwed up the reading on that, but honestly, I don't think anybody gives a crap. So in the book also, I have no commentary on what I read. In the book also, they take a field trip, a school trip, a senior trip, whatever. They take a trip to New York City. And that is my second item, is this awesome New York pop-out map. And I came to acquire this map. I used to have one when I lived in New York. And it's definitely, I used it every day. So great. But my friend Amanda gave this to me. I visited her last year and she had a second one, and I was so happy to take it off her hands because you open it up and there's your subway lines. It's old though, because there's now a 2nd Avenue subway line that is not on this map. But it just takes me back to a time of living in New York, commuting to New York, loving New York, and always loving New York City. And so it's got this, pops out. It's a pop out? It's a pop out map. So there you go. So we get a little bit more detail in the inner workings here. And yeah, it's just good times. So we're taking field trips to New York City, and we're taking life trips to New York City. Or real trips. This is fantasy. I don't know. We're just going to New York City. It's good times. Anyway, so that's what's on my bookshelf. And are we shocked? I actually have read this book because it's a young adult novel and not challenging at all. So, oh, good times. New York. Thanks for joining me on this episode of What's on My Bookshelf with Jill. Read you next time. Get it? Read you, like see you next time, but read, because we're talking about books. Okay, bye.